Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's April 29th, 2022. We're going to be talking about Netflix today. We're going to be talking about what's going on and the Hollywood take on this. HollywoodReporter.com is who I'm going to be citing today. When the upfront return to New York City in midday May, after a 2-year pandemic hiatus, broadcast TV is expected to play second fiddle through ABC, NBC, and CBS. We'll still get their moments. Disney is expected to introduce the ad-supported tier of Disney Plus, while Paramount will pitch Paramount Plus and NBC Universal touts Peacock. After years of preparing to go all in on streaming, linear is no longer a corporate priority for Hollywood giants, but at least a handful of companies are bucking the trend and leaning into linear TV, hoping that it can help them stand out in a world where everyone else seems to be trying to chase Netflix, which itself is undergoing a rocky period as subscription growth slows. Geez, we wonder why. I don't know. I can't quite figure out what exactly may have happened to Netflix. What could have happened? Could they possibly have blackwashed history? Brownwashed history? What about the damages that does to white people? Europeans? Can we not have a class action suit against any, I'm not naming any specific, but any group of people that go out and appropriate our history, our historical figures, our heroes, our cultural norms, and then appropriate them to another people? Is that not causing damage? Is that not something from a monetary standpoint? That's invaluable. You can't even place a number on what these people are doing. But again, it's okay to do it to one group, and it's never okay to do it to anyone else. There's only one group that can be victimized. There's only one group that can be the assailant. And the group that is the assailant can be victimized by the supposed oppressed. This is nothing but Marxism, ladies and gentlemen. That is all this is. But we do have companies like A&E, Univision, Fox, and AMC Networks are betting that even as the pay TV bundle keeps slowly and steadily declining, embracing the linear side of the business. And what they're talking about here is the fact that why would I pay for, let's say I have DirecTV or some other satellite provider. Why would I pay for 185 channels when I only watch 2 or 3? And that's how most people are. You like your Travel Channel, Discovery Channel, whatever, and you like your shows that come on there. Well, if I can just sub to that for, $5 a month, that's a lot better than a $100 DirecTV bill. So I think what we're doing is taking a very measured, sober, and level-headed approach to this, which is that, yes, traditionally distribution is on a challenging trend, right? But there's still a way to reach people through creative distribution, partnerships, and all of that. Yeah, typical. I'm not going to really critique that too much, but yeah, that sounds like something someone involved in marketing would say. Linear TV's future is difficult to predict, and no company is willing to make any grand pronouncements, only to explore questions. Older viewers may be cutting the cord, but no, older viewers are dying. They're cutting the cord. They're dying because they're older. Or they're going into a nursing home. And they can't sit at home and watch TV all day long. Or they can't afford to stay there and they had to sell their house because you guys have ruined the economy. With all of your insider trading, with all of your nepotism and tribalism, and handing your buddies a wad full of freshly printed $100 bills to go out and do things that anybody with half a brain and common sense would tell you is not going to work. However, a March 4th SEC filing from Discovery Incorporated ahead of its merger with Warner Media, now that's actually not a bad idea from a business standpoint to merge those two companies, does shed some light on the near to midterm future of pay TV. The filing indicated that Discovery expects revenue from its U.S. linear TV business, Food Network, Discovery Channel, HGTV, etc., to decline by 4% annually through 2025, with expenses expected to rise. While your expenditures are going up, while your subscription base is essentially dwindling. Well, your subscription base is dwindling because of your ads, because of your woke garbage. I'm sorry, I have no problem, but let's just look at this from a common sense standpoint, shall we? 12% of the U.S. population, roughly, is black. 6% of that population, or half, would be black males, or half would be black females. And actually, if blacks are the same as every other demographic, then you would say that it's probably more like 7-5, because there are more women than men, because men go off to fight the wars. Men do the dangerous job, so we die more often, is the point here. But we're talking about 12% of the population. Now, what are the odds that 12% of the population would have their offspring, from white and black relationship, or white and Asian relationship, whatever the case, or black and black, but their mom was mixed? It doesn't matter. You can throw any combination you want to there. It doesn't matter. Mixed people is what I'm talking about. Every single ad is either a white female with a black male and they have a family, or it is an ad with a mixed person. And I don't know if you know who Kalergi is, but he talked about he wanted the people of the future to look like the Egyptians would have. Well, first of all, that's not entirely true, Kalergi. You're operating off of 180-year-old information. Don't look up the DNA results of King Tut. Don't look up the fact they had a caste system. And yes, that some of the people were mixed, absolutely. Just like here in America, some of the people are going to be mixed, and that's fine. But what are the odds that is going to be the person buying the Chevrolet, that is going to be the person buying the Maytag washing machine, that is going to be the person buying whatever product it is you're selling? So you're not targeting a demographic. You're not targeting a people like you do traditionally in marketing that may buy your product and appealing to them because you think, okay, well, white people like shotguns. Well, black people like, Bentleys or whatever, whatever brand it is, Gucci, Versace, whatever. Now that makes sense to some extent, but every single ad is a mixed person or a white female with a black husband and mixed child. They keep throwing that out there. That's why your ad revenues are junk. Because nobody's watching your channels. So your ads aren't being seen as much, so you're not being paid as much. So your revenue's dropping. Because let's be honest, why am I paying for a subscription? Let's say, I've always made this argument. Why do I pay for DirecTV when I have to still watch ads? Right? Am I not paying for the service? Am I not paying for the program? Why is it full of ads? Why is a 30-minute Duck Dynasty show full of 15 minutes of ads? I want to know if Willie and Cy are going to, fall off the roof or whatever. I don't give a shit. Pardon my French. Pardon my language. About Lincoln trying to sell me a electric vehicle. I want to know about Cy and if he spills his cup of tea when he falls off the roof or not. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm paying to watch. And the fact that you have positions like diversity inclusion officer, commissar, that kind of stuff. It's insane. You can't just live your life that way. You guys you make 6 figures a year and you don't do anything. I'd work circles around you people. Everyone I know that's working class, middle class people would crush you in any fair competition. They would crush you because they can work 18, 20 hours a day. I still get the laundry done. I still get the food in the crock pot, slow cooking to feed their family later that night. They would crush you. They would destroy you. They are your superior in every measurable metric. And then you sit there and you run ads that are condescending to them. And you put them down and you berate them and you tell them how vicious and savage their ancestors were. Why? Because they won a war that they didn't want in the first place, but once it started, they finished it. There's nothing evil about that. That's human nature. If you start a fight and someone punches you in the mouth, then you're going to taste a little blood. That's human nature. That's history. And it's not pleasant. And it's not nice. And this whole, just trying to create this environment, this utopia, it's not real. It doesn't resonate with real people. Real people's lives are a struggle. They want to turn on the TV and see something they can relate to. They want to see Mike Rowe on Dirty Jobs. They want to see, somebody out there hunting elk or moose, to survive. That rugged survivalism of the individual. That's what they want to see. That's what they yearn for, because that's who they are. And you wouldn't know this because you're not that person, because what happened was you graduated college and then you had an internship. And I don't know if you understand this or not. It doesn't matter if we make college free. Most people still can't go to college. Why is that? Because they don't have a home. Because they don't have an apartment. They don't have housing security. They don't have food security. And so they can't focus on their studies and their academics and work 60 hours a week to keep the lights on. And every policy that you people are doing is doing what? Making the cost of living go higher and higher and higher. And we've got to a point where the average person can't make it without government subsidization. Meaning without government stimulus. We can't make it. Now I know that's how you run your business, because I know you guys aren't very good at it. Let's be honest, you're not. With the assets you have available and the amount of airtime and exposure you have, and you can't make your product desirable, that means you're completely off base. You're struggling. And you need to listen to the average person when they tell you to stop putting this multi-culti garbage in her face. We're sick of it. I'm sorry about that rant, by the way. Perhaps benefiting from the company's portfolio of sports rights, including the NBA, MLB, and March Madness. You're not going to benefit from that. Nobody wants to watch the MLB take a knee and desecrate the flag. Nobody wants to watch the NBA stick a black power fist up in the air. Everybody knows it's a universal communist sign. Nobody wants to watch that. We're Americans. You idiots. Alright. Sports remain one of the key drivers. And again, no, they do not. I'm sorry, you don't seem to understand. Your sports are done. Your sports ball is over. We've got people being tracked down in the street because of the color of their skin. We got girls on TikTok running into white people. Just running into a family of whites. Because they won't move out of her way because of their white privilege, and it's an experiment on white privilege. You're going to assault people on the street to prove white privilege? Well, I hate to tell you this, but in a white privileged country, if any kind of nationalistic sentiments that were ethnocentric, you would not be allowed to do that. You would be in jail for the rest of your life after that. So apparently what you're saying isn't true. These people live in a false reality. These people are delusional. Non-lifetime views have fallen off a cliff, falling an average of 8% annually over the past 10 years. So that's 80%. Nathanson writes in his linear TV report, lifetime viewed, however, is flat despite there being several. People can't watch TV lifetime. Don't you understand that we're too busy? Don't you understand that we're too busy? That we've got to get to the DMV because we're going to get fined if we don't. That we got to get this tax form filled out or we're going to get fined. We're going to get bent over and have a microscope used. And a fine-tooth comb. The average hard-working American, the guy out there welding pipes, trying to run a pipeline, trying to get the energy down, with blisters on his hands and cuts and sores and swollen feet working in 20-degree weather. The guy working the road construction right now, going down in a manhole, not knowing if he was ever going to get back up out of it. Not knowing if he was going to go home that night and see his family. The police officer who's being assaulted for simply trying to enforce, code. Civil code. That's what law is. It's civil code. It's how to behave civilly. It's how to have a society. And if you fight that, you're fighting civilization. You're fighting society. Now we're not talking about something that's immoral where you just outlaw, something that is a common necessity. Something that everybody would need. Or, outlawing free speech. Something like that, right? These people really get on my nerves. April 8th, Disney announced that the Dancing with Stars, an ABC reality staple. Again, Dancing with Stars? First of all, none of you are stars. Do you understand that you're really not that special? You can act. So can I cannot. Anybody can act. You can do a fake accent. Anybody can read a script. Anybody can play an instrument. Anybody can sing a song, especially with auto-tune now. So what is so special about you? Oh, anybody cannot. I'll tell you that much. Anybody can pretend to be somebody they're not. It's not hard to do. You see what I'm doing right now? Don't you? Don't you see what I'm doing? I'm acting. It's like Johnny Depp I feel bad what's going on with him and Amber Heard in that situation. That girl is crazy. Allegedly. Right? Allegedly. She's crazy. And he gets up there with this British accent. And it just blows my mind. It's like, Johnny, Mr. Depp, I actually like some of your films. I think you're a talented actor. I think, you're better than average in a lot of ways as far as acting goes. But why are you acting like you're a limey? What are you doing? You're from Kentucky, man. The big wow, really? The consolidation. Gosh. Coffee, drink it. The big consolidation trend has been arguably that the scale to have robust streaming services or subscriptions or a blend, and the people who have those scaled subscriptions services are punishing it hard, says Kevin Green, CEO of the Advertising Technology and Analytics from EDO, and the ones that aren't as big to live with what they get, which is still strong linear networks that have an audience. And paradoxically, I could say paradoxically, but I can't say consolidation. See, this is what happens. This is what you're doing to the American people. We're working 6 days a week just to pay the bills, just to send our kids to a decent school where they're not going to be assaulted for being whitey. Right? To send our children to schools that have some kind of ethics and morals, that are based off of Western civilization, for God's sakes. Alright, so you look for opportunities, you find those right spaces, and you say, you know what, we can nudge our way into this. Did you? That's not to say this company is alright now on streaming, or in a sandbox to varying degrees. AMC has SVOD services called AMC Plus, and it's video to bin, and a suite full and supported streaming channels called fast channels in industry jargon. Some apps, some channels inside streaming services, but all free and ad supported. A&E has its own set of fast channels and strikes deals to sell its content to other streamers. Fox owns the Tubi Fast service and has a niche of subscription offering with Fox Nation. The bet is that along as the programming super high quality audiences will watch, whether on a fast channel or on linear TV. We are an original content company. We're not known for sharing returns of other people's stuff. So when you make your own stuff, own your own stuff, it gives you maximum flexibility to use it on linear and then use it on Army and an Army platform. Oh, that sounds like the Queen's Army. Oh no. In any way, your client want to be used A&E Networks. President of programming, Rob Chernow. That's a fucking made up last name. Is that person even real? Rob Chernow. Look up his LinkedIn ID, please. New technology like addressable ads, which brings the targeting capabilities of digital ads to TV. Can make linear TV a little more like streaming, only making it a better option for marketers seeking both scale and specificity. I feel like television is becoming more exciting, more dynamic, much more efficient, says Kim Kelleher, president of ads sales for AMC Network. That's what I'm talking about. You just live off the subscription. Stop sticking your freaking ads in our face. Don't you understand? We don't want to see that stuff. So anyone can act, right, Johnny? Anyone can act, right, Miss Heard? It's not that hard to do.
You'll see the difference now if we don't know how. Nothing ever stays the same. Once you let it change. It's like a family tree.